Okay, folks, I am going to mute all. I'm still letting folks into this meeting, so let's just give it about one minute more and we'll begin. Okay, appreciate all of you being here on time. You have just a couple of seconds to get people admitted and we will begin. Okay, so we began. I'm going to go ahead and record this. It'll make me happy that I remember to do that.
Yeah, I know we want to look at, they have a down poll, so you can look at the.
Recording in progress.
Okay, everybody, I thank you all so very much for being here. If I had my choice, we've got a few hundred people here. If I had my choice, what I'd really like would be to have a conversation with you as opposed to making a presentation to you. And I'm going to try to conduct it along those lines. This was described as the first VIP overview. And I want you all to know that I understand with complete, absolute clarity who the VIP is here. The VIP is you. And I feel like I've got a pretty deep obligation right now to help each one of you understand specifically and exactly what the possibilities are. And before I even break into what the company is, I just want to pose to each one of you a question. What is it for you? I always choose to take just the first minute or two. If we were meeting in my home right now, and I wish we were face to face together, what I would do is I'd ask you first the question. I'd say, who are you and why are you here? And I kind of need to know that because the message is not the same for all of us. I'm looking at one named Ron that I don't know, and some people, Joe, I don't know, because I don't know what it is for you. It's hard for me to be specific. And so this has to be kind of a broad brush overview, which we then reduce to your personal objectives. But I pose the question to others, who are you and why are you here? And then I think it's logical that I would respond to that and tell you who I am and why I'm here. And it's really simple. My name is Randy Schrader, and why am I here? I was raised many, many years ago in a home with inadequate financial resources. That's why I'm here still. I can still call to mind with greater clarity what it felt like to me when I went to school in third grade and came home and said to my mom, Mom, I want Converse sneakers. And she said, Randy, we can't afford Converse sneakers. And I came home from school a couple of days later and I said, Mom, I want Levi's jeans. She said, Randy, you know that we can't afford Levi's jeans. And I can still call to clarity I can still call to mind with greater clarity what it felt like to not have enough. Then I can respond to my current life experience of having had so much success for so many years. And my wife is kind of a magical person because she helped me figure out what exactly it is that I want. She helped me because she helped me creating the outline for a book called More Happy More of the Time. And that is what I want. And that's what I think other people want too. And I've come to understand what the contributors are to me, at least, being more happy more of the time. And I'm guessing those may be some of the very same contributors for you. And those contributors are, and this is, I hope, not inappropriate for any of you. It's Easter weekend. It's a degree of spiritual wellness. And I realize that your particular version of spirituality may be outside of mine. But to be more happy and more of the time requires a degree of spiritual wellness. I believe that it requires a degree of physical wellness and fitness. It requires a degree of mental acuity and wellness. It requires that we have emotional wellness. I think it also, if we have spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional wellness, then that makes it possible for us to see, to discern moments of profound opportunity. And that also gives us the courage and the clarity to act upon that. So if we have a degree of spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional wellness, then that gives us the opportunity to gain financial wellness. That's what we're here to talk about today, the chance to have a complete, total, absolute financial breakthrough in your life, if that's what you're looking for. So many years ago, I read this very issue of Boys Life magazine. And this issue of Boys Life magazine said when I was in third grade that if I wanted to, I could become a dealer at a direct selling company called Watkins Products. This is a bottle of Watkins vanilla that I sold 50 years ago. My solution to financial constraints, my solution to financial hardship since the time I was a little tiny boy has been to engage in a home-based business model. And so when I pose the question of who are you and why are you here, and then I tell you who I am and why I am here because I was fortunate, blessed. I just quite a few years ago, I discovered a way. Whoops, and someone's sharing the screen. We've got to stop that. I discovered a way to separate myself from financial scarcity. And I discovered a way to have that removal from financial scarcity be directly attributed to other people's removal from financial scarcity. And I can think of no greater avocation. I believe that money doesn't solve all the world's problems, but I think that financial scarcity exacerbates almost every other problem. And so we come to the earliest days, the pre-launch experience of a company that I am completely convinced is going to make a huge amount of difference in a lot of people's lives, a huge amount of difference in a lot of people's lives. And in this conversation of ours, what I want to do is walk you through not just the basic business presentation, but I want to walk you through that business presentation and describe to you my perceptions of this series of realities. And in so doing, I'm hoping that you will understand with clarity why it is that I've chosen to set aside so many other important issues and topics in my life right now so that I can fully and completely address this possibility. And so, what is Nilo Life? Well, this represents to me more than a business possibility. It represents a possibility to continue a process which has been ongoing for me for many years to do what? To learn, grow, develop, and become that which I must to fully harvest the value of every opportunity available to us in life. So what I want to do, I want to learn, grow, develop, and become. My guess is that if each of you join me in the idea that we learn, grow, develop, and become, we become more successful in all aspects of our life. We'll be more happy more of the time. The company's basic message is to teach, travel, and transform. To teach what? Let's all realize this. My current life successes, my current life experience in total is a result of that which I know, and so is yours. Our current life experience is reflective of that which we know. That is knowledge. Knowledge is a good thing to develop, it's a good thing to gather more of. Knowledge doesn't make any money. The world is full of knowledgeable people who don't accomplish much financially. Knowledge is what we know. Skill is what we know how to do. That is when we identify our natural talents, work, 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 and work to convert those talents into skills which become beneficial to others. And so, what do we seek to do in this community? We seek to each person gather the added knowledge. Knowledge in what areas? Knowledge in all aspects of life, knowledge specifically as it relates to our primary business purposes. If we gather more knowledge, if we then become resolute, each of us, in applying ourselves to converting that knowledge into skills that become beneficial to others, we then have an opportunity to have a tremendous financial breakthrough while helping others do the same. So we seek to teach and we seek to grow together communities. And the next picture, I think, will be my counterparts and new friends who own this business. And one of the things that have been of tremendous fascination to me has been in conversation with one of the company founders, Eric Allen, who's had a lot of experience in the travel industry. And he talked to me about the realities. If a person comes to one of the curated group travel experiences, the community that is formed, the bond between others becomes so tremendously great that the likelihood of that person remaining actively engaged in the business model, therefore still being a part of your financial success as a result of them doing what they want to do, 90% plus people will return to next year's event if they come to this year's premium curated travel experience. In the business side of our message, what do we seek to do? Not just work to get paid once. You can do that with a job. It is to work paid to get many, many, many times. It is to work once to get paid many times. That depends upon people entering the community and staying in it forever. My own experience is that if a person's gathering new knowledge, converting that knowledge into skills that become beneficial to others, and at the same time becoming willing to confront oneself or be confronted by another, such that any area of character weakness which stands between us and more positive association with more people can be removed. You see, it says teach, travel, and then transform. teach, deliver the information that is necessary for a new person to have a different outcome, travel, develop community together that creates relationships that are so tightly knit they simply cannot be broken. And as a result of the experience, a process, learn, grow, develop, become, to transform, and to transform not just in terms of adding more money, but to have an overall improved life experience. Now, over the course of my years in business, I have come to understand that there are 5 elements which are required for success. I've come to understand which of those elements is most important. Those elements, by the way, are what? The first element required for success is a product or a service that matters to people. And I would here remind you all of this simple thought. A few months ago, about a year ago, I became extraordinarily intrigued with the idea of no longer getting paid in my life because I'm a persuader. The truth is, I'm a persuader. Some of you are persuaders. At one station of my career, I persuaded, with the help of some other fantastic leaders, but I persuaded an entire body of the population that they should be using a natural solution to reduce their cholesterol instead of using a prescription drug. As a result of assembling a team of knowledgeable and skillful persuaders, we built a great big business. Another chapter in my life, we built a big business persuading others that they should increase antioxidant values by using the acai berry from Brazil. For the last decade, I've been persuading people about the benefits of non-psychoactive cannabis. Here's what I know. If instead of getting paid because we're persuading others to do something we would like them to do, if we can instead get paid to help other people do what they've already decided to do. You see, what Nick and Eric and Larry had the clarity to see, which I did not see, as one day they were apparently driving down a highway, seeing hotels on the right and the left, is people are checking into those hotels, aren't they? And they're checking in not because we told them to. They're not checking into a hotel because we asked them to. They're checking into a hotel, they're booking an airline, they're booking a vacation. They're not doing it because we asked them to. They're doing it because they want to, either because their business or job requires it, or because a family vacation causes them to desire it. And so this vision that has been prominent in my mind now for several months, and it gets bigger all the time, the idea of getting paid not because we're causing other people to do something we want them to do, but that in fact we're getting paid as a result of helping people do what they want to do, but helping them do it for a little less money. That for me is a valid idea. Um, when I said at the outset there are 5 elements required for success, the first, a product or service that matters to people. Well, the question, what is the product? The product is the chance to learn, grow, develop, and become that which you must to get the key in the lock of success in every aspect of your life. The product, the opportunity being offered, is the chance to become in a community of some of the most extraordinary people I've ever seen who have found a way to overcome obstacles in every part of life. And it's a chance specifically to be guided by this leadership group that I now put in front of you. When I said there are 5 elements required for success, those 5 elements are: first, a product or service that matters to people. In my estimation, we offer not just a, but several products and services today and more coming. And when I say today, I mean the next week or 10 days, that matter to almost all people. And so that part is kind of a given. The second element required for success, for most of my life, I've kind of given short order. I've said it's the company. Because I've long believed that the assembly of a leadership group is the responsibility of us, the leadership in the organization. The development of a leadership group is historically for me not been the role of the company. You know what? I've never had an ownership group who could teach, coach, and educate about the principles of building a network marketing organization like Nick, Eric, and Larry can. And by the way, some people have asked me, Randy, why are you in such unabashed support of this group of people? I'm in such unabashed support of this group of people because I've seen the way they've conducted themselves over the course of the last 9, 10, and 11 months in what was an extraordinarily difficult environment, trying to help another entrepreneur get their company off the ground. And I saw the way these guys responded when things went well, and I saw the way they responded when things went poorly. And I'll tell you, I saw with great fascination not an ability to not just hold people together in a challenging environment, but to deliver the kind of leadership that caused people to remain optimistic in the face of extraordinary difficult times. And so I want you to know that I have absolutely no hesitation whatsoever in complete, total, and absolute support of Nick Schwartz and Eric Allen and Larry Lane. Different skills, different capacities. We all benefit tremendously now from specifically Eric's experience in the travel industry. We benefit specifically now from Nick's experience in the financial services and trading world. We benefit very specifically from all three of these gentlemen's experience and knowledge in building very, very large, successful network marketing organizations. And by the way, I've observed that firsthand. There can sometimes be luck involved when one is a one-hit wonder, when one has a measure of success one time in a company in network marketing. When a person has multiple successes, when it becomes decades long and is not tied to a specific moment of timing with a specific company, when success results again and again because proper principles are being applied, proper leadership groups are being created, that is when the best way to correctly predict the future, I believe, is to carefully and critically study the past. The best way to win is to associate yourself with winners, and that is exactly what I have done and what we each have an opportunity to do. Now, the reality is that the vast majority of people who are interacting with me right now have a pressing and somewhat urgent need to make money. We can watch the news and we can get impressions of what's going on in the economic realities of families. My impression is that there are a lot of people who are really struggling today. And I get that impression. If you go to the gas station, you'll see the number of people who are walking inside to pay for their gas. Why is that? It's because they haven't got the credit available on their credit card. And so when I first looked at anything that would cost money as opposed to make money, I said, this has got to be something that is incredibly attractive at every single level. And I think the Nilo Life lifestyle membership does exactly that. I mean, truly.
Thank you,
Oops, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, one more time. There we go. Sorry about that. And so what exactly is inclusive in that membership? First of all, Nilo Life Travel. I have had the benefit, by the way, of having a glimpse into the travel partner back office. It's important for you to know that while Nilo Life is a new company, the travel partner is not new at all. The travel partner, in fact, is very, very large, has existed for a long time, has done an enormous amount of business doing corporate junkets around the world. I did have Eric was kind enough to send me a preview link to Glance a couple of weeks ago. And I can tell you that if what you want to do is book the Grand Hyatt in Hong Kong, you can, and you can book it for less money, a few percent less than if you book that same hotel on Expedia. And you say, Randy, a few percent? 10%? Is that enough? Well, what if the room's $800 because it's the Grand Hyatt in Hong Kong? Yeah, it's absolutely enough. What if you want to book the Holiday Inn Express in Tarpon Springs, Florida? Well, you can do that too. And you'll save $8 or $10 or $7 or $6. Is that enough? Yes, if it's measured against a $10 price. Neo Life Travel, the opportunity to help other people do what they want to do because they want to do it, not because we want them to. We're helping other people do what they want to do because they want to do it. We're helping them do it for a little less money. It doesn't have to be a lot less money. It can be a little less money. Now you get to the life trips. Here, I've come to understand that when we gather people together in groups and communities and we create relationships of mutual trust and respect, when we create relationships that transcend the business offering, that is when we have a legitimate chance to grow a business that stands the test of time. When it is tied purely to the economic opportunity, my experience is this. If it's tied purely to the economic opportunity, there are too many opportunities for pride, ego, arrogance, disappointments. The human condition is one that sometimes puts people at odds. When it is only about money, the organization will one day, if not fracture, it will fail to reach its fullest potential. When it transcends being only about money, when it is about relationship, when it is all inclusive. My belief is that by participating in one of the premium curated travel experiences, if you can influence people in your group to become in association with the leadership in the network and the leadership at the company, if you can cause people to embrace this as not simply a money-making mechanism, but in fact a chance to learn, grow, develop, and become that which I must to have greater success in all aspects of my life, that will become more tangibly real for those who participate in the life trips and those who do not. Now, those life trips are USA only presently, but that will change in the not too distant future. When I say not too distant future, I will leave that completely open-ended so we don't create unrealistic expectations. Neo life streaming. This plays directly into my worldview. Remember that today, at this second in time, we find ourselves joining a new entity, a remarkable possibility in my estimation. Let's stop and ask ourselves this simple question. Do we believe we'll all get the same outcome? What do you think? Will we all get the same outcome? Well, as a result of certain components of this compensation plan, the fact that it's a forced matrix, that will create a more level playing field than any other compensation mechanism in network marketing. We will all get more of some of the outcomes, but will we all get the same outcome? No, we will not. What will be the difference? Because the opportunity is the same for all. The compensation plan is the same for all. The product offerings are the same for all. What then is the difference? The difference is the ability to execute of each next individual. And that is why the next bullet point, where it says Nilo live streaming, hits into my sweet spot. What we currently know how to do, and the way we currently conduct ourselves, our knowledge, our skills, and our character dictate our current outcome. If we take that exact same bank of knowledge, skill, and character and apply it to a new company, because of the unique dynamics of this particular company, because of the most profound moment of timing I've seen in the last 25 years, there will be those who will bring exact current skills into this, and for the next few moments, because like sands through the hourglass, we find such critically important moments right now. There will be those whose earnings outperform their own personal development for a period of time. That will not remain true long term. It is those who are constantly on a path of growth who stay in front of the curve. I've realized for the last 30 years, my principal job is in growing people, and that will continue both in my own leadership camp, boot camp efforts, but also specifically in Nilo live streaming. The Nilo Live Shop, I've watched with fascination. I study the entire direct selling industry. I never want to think of myself as copying anyone, but certainly I want to think of myself as learning from what other people do. I mean, it would be insane to say that other people don't have something to teach me. And I've watched with fascination a couple of companies have really, really tremendous success on a multinational scale over the course of the last couple of years in the post-COVID environment, simply by providing relatively modest discounts to a market basket of consumer goods that people want and need on a daily basis. The Nilo Life Shop will make that opportunity available in the United States, pretty much coming out of the gate. And I will tell you in advance that it will begin with a relatively modest group of offerings. In fact, it's already there. You've seen some of them. I'm personally involved in conversations to bring other really, really exciting products to the company, both domestically and internationally. And one of the things, and in fact, I will just be quiet and I'll wait until Nick or someone at the company announces it, but I learned some things about the way the store will operate in the last couple of days, specifically as it relates to our income generating possibility that I was unaware of until literally yesterday or the day before. The live shop. And then, of course, I have been an advocate of teaching people this basic truth. We will never have financial security in our lives as long as it is us, the individual, who's making the money. If you are making the money, you do not have financial security, because if something happens to you, there's no more money being made. The time when we have true financial security is when our money makes the money that is required for us to support our lifestyle. I wish that the life trade possibility would be available in the United States immediately. It cannot be. SEC rules in the United States are quite robust. The trading program that will be introduced multinationally is something that I support entirely. Once again, I've used that word a couple of times. I support entirely. I've been not an advocate of trading programs for the consuming public. I was in the financial services world for quite a while. I've seen where people get hurt trying to individually know how to trade on signals and so on. This mechanism, I'll allow you to learn it more specifically from the company in the markets where it is available, but it's a very, very risk averse, a hedged portfolio of institutional money. It is not about convincing individual investors that they would know how to succeed in the trading arena, because I don't believe that they will. This is the absolute truth. If a person did not have financial constraints, what would they do over and over and over again? The response is, I would like to see and experience the world. When I think of what this direct selling industry has done for me, certainly the fact that my financial life has been different than I ever dreamed it could be, that's been important. But you know what's likewise been important? I did not know, for example, not a comfortable admission for me, but I was raised in a little community in Idaho where every single person was the same color, had the same tone in their skin. We were all the same religion. I did not know that I was raised into certain forms of bigotry. I didn't even know that. until I started working in environments, and I found out that people all over the world have different spiritual beliefs. They have different life's experiences, and they all want the same thing. They all want to be more happy more of the time, and the same components contribute to that for all of us. When, as a result of becoming successful in this industry, I lived for a period of time in Japan, my worldview changed. When I lived for a period of time in Israel, my worldview changed. When I lived for a period of time in Singapore and traveled extensively throughout Indonesia and Malaysia, my worldview changed. Um, we don't just have fun when we travel. It's more than that. My own experience is that our worldview changes. And my further experience is that the bigger my worldview is, the bigger my financial outcome can be in that worldview. I promise you, when you log into the travel portfolio, you are going to be impressed. You're going to be impressed with the look. You're going to be impressed with the feel. And you're also going to be impressed with the actual value proposal in the travel offering itself. And remember this, in wisdom which I would not have had, the company chose to be so very, very lenient and generous to people at the very front end of the compensation plan that one need not even enroll a single member himself or herself to have the basic monthly fee to access all of the company's opportunities will be covered by many, many, many people who have not even enrolled one, but who, as a result of the community build, getting paid through 4 generations, have that travel portfolio available at literally no cost. And by the way, magic to that message. For so many years, I argued that if we pay people who do nothing, we won't have the money left to pay those who really produce. That was wrong thinking. What we should do is provide a mechanism that makes it an absolute automatic to stay forever involved. If we allow a person with literally zero productivity to nevertheless get compensated in the compensation plan an amount equal to or greater than whatever is the monthly cost of association, then there's no reason to ever quit. Therefore, we will not need to be always filling the bottom of the bucket. A life trip for everybody. I'm so thrilled to note that the first one for the domestic market has already been announced, coming up this fall. And this is my experience. It's interesting to me to look. I see the person I happen to be seeing on the screen right now is Jim Moyles. And Jim Moyles and I, we have a friendship and a relationship that has spanned some 30 years. And you know what, Jim? Part of that relationship, in fact, the entire relationship was hinged on our joint association in the network marketing industry, wasn't it? And that entire association was also developed by the fact that we did things together in various parts of the world. I cannot imagine what else we might have been involved in that would have resulted in this relationship going so far, so long, and impacting so many people for good. That happens to be one person whose picture I'm looking at on the screen right now. Multiply that by literally tens of thousands of people, not all of whom have had the same experience as Jim and I have had, but what an amazing thing it has been. Our first life trip is coming up, and I will tell you that there will be relationships formed on that very first trip that will stand the test of time. As I now reference my friend, we've done literally millions and millions of dollars in business together. We've had a life experience together. There will be people who meet for the first time at that event who then become not just business associates, but friends. And some of those relationships will stand the test of time. They'll be standing 30 years from now. And a positive side effect of all that that relationship has become will become increased financial success and more positive life experience for all involved. Leo, we talked briefly about Neo Life streaming, the idea that we must all learn, grow, develop, and become. It's on its way. Initial items in the Life Shop. Once again, items that we buy and use that are good, that represent value, and you can have 28 to 30% discounts off what you might find in the local health food store. And investment trading. I've long been a subscriber to the idea that it is not about the money we make, it is about the money that our money makes. I've subscribed to the principles taught in The Richest Man in Babylon, authored by George S. Clason so many years ago, authored in 1903. And what he taught was that we must pay ourselves first. We scrape some of every single commission check off of the top. We invest it conservatively and wisely into a managed portfolio. And you know, those people who are able to do that multinationally in our trading program, I am envious of you. Those who cannot yet access that program, sweep 10% off of the top anyway and invest it in a similar managed portfolio domestically, mimic and mirror, match what we're doing internationally until such program becomes available domestically, which is coming. I'm not going to go into further detail with the trading program now, except to tell you it's the single largest, it is the single largest market we could possibly participate in. We understand that there are countless people who would like to use our service, but who don't have an interest in the business right now. That is fantastic. There are lots and lots and lots more people who are going to travel this year, then who are going to launch a new business this year. We want to be involved in all parts of that. In the referral program, when a customer simply refers 3 others to utilize the services, that grants access to that customer, the original customer, for free. Let's talk just a little bit. So I'm going to go back over here and have to do a little bit more reading. I apologize. Get back over here. Stop this share for a second. Okay, mute. Just keep doing that. Okay. And we'll come back over to my share screen. Sorry, folks. So now let's get specifically and exactly to where the rubber hits the road. We have here nearly 400 people reviewing this session right now, and I don't know what percentage of those people have a current pressing financial need. I'm guessing that quite a few do. And I want to remind you all, those who have a current pressing financial need, when I talk about the possibility of engaging in a travel program and you traveling, you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, Randy, I need to make money right now. I'm not concerned about spending money. I would remind you that my single biggest financial success in my life came not because I wanted or needed the product the company offered. It was a cholesterol reduction item. I was 32 years old and had no need for that. What I recognized was a tremendous market for that which the company offered. I did not need to have a personal need for it. I would consider the Neolife membership to be something that is for everyone, because literally everyone is going to book into a hotel room somewhere this year. Why not do it on their own site as opposed to somebody else's site? Why not pay yourself a little bit as opposed to paying somebody else? I consider the business mechanism something that would have a appropriate application for more people, a large percentage than anything I've seen before in my own business career. I probably do that quick mute over time, get that background noise out. One simple business principle that I learned many years ago. If the market that I am in is staying the same size, let's imagine for a moment that I am in a market. In fact, I'm going to grab myself a whiteboard here. Hope you guys can see that. I want you to imagine for just 1 second that here is the market that I am in. And I am in the market, and Jim is in the market. Reference my friend Jim Moyles there a second ago. And Jim, he's better than me. So there's Jim, and here's Randy. And Jim's got 65%, and I've got 35%. But other people can see that we're succeeding. They're taking a look and they'll say, wow, look at the home that Jim Moyles lives in. Look at the life he lives. Look at that Randy guy. He seems to live a nice life. And so I thought just a second ago that Brian Rhodes entered this Zoom. And so here was Brian. Brian, he's out here. He's on the outside. He's looking in. And he says, wow, Jim's making money and Randy's making money. I want a piece of that. And so he comes in. Well, Brian's a good guy. What's going to happen when Brian comes in? He's going to get some of that, isn't he? And where's it going to come from? Well, some's going to come from Jim and some's going to come from Randy. That's what happens when the market that we're in is the same size. What if there's some outside force or pressure dynamic that's causing the market to get smaller? Well, then there's not room for Brian to come. One of Randy or Jim's going to get squeezed out. Now, what if, on the other hand, there is some outside force or pressure or dynamic that's big, it's powerful, it's beyond our control, and it's causing the market to grow, and the market's growing more rapidly than Jim and I can handle. I can't handle it all. It's growing too fast. I don't have room. Jim can't either. Well, now Brian can come in and get this piece for himself without taking it from Randy or Jim. I've learned over the course of my entire career that if we can position ourselves in markets that are growing dramatically, then we will be in a non-competitive environment. And so let's just take a really quick look. Here we can see that the current market for travel is $8.3 trillion annually. Well, that's a great big market. But what did we just learn? Just a couple of days ago, it was Bloomberg in Europe said that that market would grow by 30% in the next immediate few years. 30% added to 8.3 trillion, folks. That's another 2.4 trillion added to it. Dramatic market expansion. Whether or not you knew it when you said yes to this idea, or what will occur when you say yes to this idea, is you'll put yourself in an environment where the market is growing more dramatically than the current participants can absorb. Therefore, you're in a non-competitive environment. If you want to make making money a pleasure and relatively easy, then don't compete with others, but earn market share that you don't have to take from another. I have unbelievable enthusiasm for the pay plan. And I know that the typical anticipation when one logs into one of these sessions is that it will be brief and that I've taken a little bit more time. But one needs to understand the way the compensation plan works. First and foremost, we know that people are under financial pressure right now. They need to get the money back. Every single person that you introduce to this program who says yes to it, that will earn you a $25 bonus. That is called the starter bonus. By the way, what is your entry fee? It is 79 bucks, $79 annually. You enroll one person, you got 25. Enroll two, you're 2/3 of the way home. Enroll your third person, and you're cash flow positive. I promise you there'll be lots and lots and lots of people who enroll their first, their second, their third person in their first 45 minutes of involvement with the program. What is the unified bonus? It's more than a name. It is the concept of getting paid because we're assuring that other people get paid. Money that we make because other people spend is bad money. Money that we make because other people try and struggle is not good money. Money that we make because other people earn is very, very good money. The whole concept of the unified bonus is to make sure that the enroller is more than an enroller, but a responsible sponsor. When you enroll one person, you get paid 25 bucks every time you do it. When you help that person get unified, you get paid $75 each time. What does it mean to be unified? It means that you've enrolled two and you've helped them get two. Now you're unified. That pays $75 each time. Don't underestimate the importance of that. We will have people who in the first 2 weeks have 50, 75, 100 people get unified in the first 2 are people who need that 10, 15, or 20 times $75. If you're among them, then you be among those who say, this is my moment, like sands through the hourglass. There go the days of my lives. People will take action. People will say yes based upon fear of loss at a totally different level than they will based upon anticipation of gain. That is why one can have such a greater outcome in a very short period of time today. The unified build, I'm going to skip through that one quickly because I'm a little bit late on time. This is really important, folks. How does the starter bonus work? I just described it. You enroll one person, you get 25 bucks. Each time Bob enrolls one, he gets 25. When you help Bob become unified, what does that mean? When you help Bob become unified, then that pays you $75. I realize these are small figures, but I've learned that one must focus first on the little money. Having focused on the little money, it then becomes appropriate to go to the larger money. So I'm going to give you a brief illustration. I'm going to give you a brief whiteboard illustration of 3 different kinds of money that can be earned in this compensation plan. And by the way, I see that Nick Sorensen is here. Nick, if I say a single thing,
Recording stopped.
please jump in and correct it, okay? If I say anything that's inaccurate, it's not intentional. And so since you're here, if you are still here, if you see anything that is in error, please correct it. Okay, so what is the first way that a person gets compensated? Well, if this is Randy, I gotta get me a pen here. If this is Randy, the very first way that I get compensated is every single time I enroll one new person, I get paid that $25 bonus. Okay, we know the second way that I get paid is what? If I've enrolled two, as soon as I help those two enroll two, well, then we get, so I've enrolled two and I help those two enroll two. And at that point in time, that's now unified. And that then produces that $75 check. Two who get two, get two. Okay. Now, in this compensation mechanism, what is going to occur? What will occur in the compensation mechanism is 2 things happening simultaneously. We have this unified build that was described, that being what is called a forced matrix. Now, let's pretend for a moment that the only person in the company up until this hour in time is Randy. Obviously, that's not the truth. What's going to occur is what? Randy will enroll one person on the right side, one person on the left side. Those of you who may be carrying around some binary baggage, don't now panic. We're going to get paid on all parts of our business. We are each simply enrolling one person on our right, one person on our left. We are getting paid on all parts of our business. Therefore, one not become panicked about, oh my gosh, this is one of those binary things. No, it is not. Okay. But if I'm the only person in the company, I will tell you this, I have fallen in love with this project. I think this is a project whose time is right, and I'm going to make the biggest personal recruiting effort that I've made in my entire career. Now, I am an aggressive enroller. I'm going to personally enroll a couple hundred people, and I'm going to enroll a couple hundred people in a very, very short period of time. That's not going to take very long. Well, since there are only going to be 2 people right here on this generation 1 that I enrolled, what's going to happen with the next one? Well, the next person that I enrolled is going to go down the line of one of these. The next one that I enroll is going to go down the line of one of these, and so on. And it's the same way with you. Every time anyone in the entire structure enrolls more than 2, then that volume or that next placement will go down into the organization. That is called a forced matrix. Someone up line of you enrolls a new person, that person can be default placed to you. Now, is it or is it not logical that we should be compensated differently for work that we do than we should for work that somebody else does? if this is Randy and I have a sponsor up here whose name is Jim, if Jim enrolls someone and places them downline of me, then isn't it logical that I would get paid differently for that than if I enrolled someone and put them there? Yes, we should get compensated differently for what we do than for what someone else does. We will get paid a varying percentage on 16 generations of activity in our business, which starts at 1.5% and goes at 1.75% and goes up to a little over 3% or 2.75% at the absolute max if you top out the plan, meaning that you will earn between $1 and $1.37 per member in your matrix. And it will be on the dollar range. When it is placed volume, it can be on this $1.37 range. When it is enrollment tree volume meaning what? That you enrolled this one, who enrolled this one. Placement volume meaning that someone upline of you did that placement. And so the small income message is what? The tiny income message is that one can earn up to 4 levels deep by simply enrolling in the company, one not even enroll a single member. That mechanism can cause it to be that your own maintenance is being automatically met. Not only that your maintenance is being met, but that you can actually have a positive cash flow of about $35 per month without a single enrollment. Now, why is that so important? Because those of you who build great big businesses will not need to worry about continually filling the bottom of the bucket as people on the bottom end of the plan quit because they're losing money. That literally cannot, well, I shouldn't say cannot, anything can happen. That should not, and in broad ways will not happen because of the mechanism of that forced matrix, meaning that volume from an upline will be placed downline. You get paid multiple generations of depth automatically, even if you don't enroll a single person. That's the middle money. Well, what then is the big money? Okay, if the small money is that we get paid through these first 4 generations, even if we don't enroll anybody, and that can simply make our own maintenance free, if that's the small money. If the middle money is then the matrix, and that matrix we know is a 2x16, it can hold as many as 130,000 people in the matrix, and you're going to be earning between $1 and $1.37 per individual. That's a great big number. But what then is the real number? The real big number, the one that it's all about for me, is this one. It is the matching bonus. So now assume for a minute, and for some reason, I don't know why, but my pen won't write. Try very hard to write. So what I'm going to do instead is this. Since that won't write, I'm going to come back over here. And we'll go back over my little whiteboard. So I'm going to show you where the real money is. And remember, when I say where the real money is, I just indicated that one could earn $130,000 per month in the matrix, right? When I say the real money, that can sound like kind of a crazy thing, maybe if you've been listening to all of this. But when I say the real money, I mean the good money that you're earning because other people are earning, as opposed to money you're earning because other people are spending. And so if this is Don, and Don enrolls Billy, and Billy builds out a matrix, and Billy's matrix has 100,000 people in it. Let's forget that. That's too big. It has 1,000 people in it. If Billy's matrix has 1,000 people in it and he's earning an average of $1.15, and this is enrollment tree volume, then he's making $1,100 per month, 1,115. If I'm his sponsor, I will get a 20% matching bonus. Well, broaden that a little bit. What if you were to enroll 2 people who each earned $10,000 in the matrix? Then your matching bonus would be 2,000 times each of those 2 people. What if you enrolled 2 people who each earned $50,000 in the matrix? Well, then you'd earn a matching bonus of $10,000 per month times each of those 2 people. There's no limit on how many times you can do that. It's conceptual. Now I see my friend Corey. Corey, I know your dream is big. Corey, there's no reason that you can't enroll 10 people who over the course of the next couple of years are earning $10,000 per month. You would then have a $2,000 matching bonus times each of those 10. That would be okay, wouldn't it? And then on the next generation, you say, remember how it goes. If I enroll 1, on the second generation, there'll be 2. On the third generation, there'll be 4. On the fourth generation, there'll be 8. And so you see on the 4th generation, you also earn a matching bonus. It's 10%, 20% on generation 1, 10% on generation 2, 3, 4, and 5. By far the biggest checks generated in this company will come from matching bonuses on generation 5 for those who evidence real leadership and build great big structures. Now, we have talked about a lot here today, and you've been patient with me. You've hung in there. I want you to know that I have complete confidence in the simple thought to follow. There are 5 elements required for success. The elements required for success are first, a product or a service that matters to people. We do not need to convince people that they should be engaged in travel. We don't have to convince them. That's happening, isn't it? We can see it going on all around us right now. It's a absolutely monumental industry. So a product or service that matters to people. This already matters at the rate of 8.3 trillion per year on the travel side, 7.2 trillion per day on the trading side, almost uncalculable on the e-commerce side. The markets are extraordinary. A product or service that matters to people. Remember, I stated at the outset that I've come to understand there are 5 elements required for success. I've come to believe that the most important of all of those elements is the people that you're doing business with. If you're not doing business with the right people, then nothing else is going to work out the way that you want it to work out. And so I apologize, I don't have the slides in order. I just want to pop back up to Nick, Eric, and Larry. The single biggest reason that I have confidence in this process is because I've seen the way that Nick and Ari and Larry have conducted themselves over the course of the last year. And more specifically now, I've seen the way that Nick and Eric and Larry are conducting themselves in the launch of this business. And it is my deepest belief and conviction that if we associate ourselves with the right people, we can get the right outcomes. If we don't associate ourselves with the right people, we cannot. First element required for success is a product or service that matters to people. We have that in multiple ways and in markets that are growing so dramatically that we can never outpace them. The second element required for success is a company, and let's just reduce that company to the people who own and operate it, people who can execute it, who are people of goodwill and intent, and who are doing the right things for the right reasons. I'm convinced that's in place. The third element required for success is timing that is clear, that is obvious, that is beyond refute. Clearly, the timing from a business standpoint is beyond refute. My question to you is, what about you? So that's really what it comes down to, is what about you, if this is your moment of time. If you look around your life experience and say, and by the way, I don't like dissatisfaction, but if you look around your life experience and find gratitude for those things that are good, but if there are some things in your life experience that right now are simply not okay, more. They go to work where an employer wants you to go to work instead of where you want to work. If what you want is to work when you want, where you want, with whom you want, and if you want. If what you want is to develop knowledge, to gather knowledge, develop skills and character attributes that positively impact every other part of your life. If what you want is a chance to have a complete, total, and absolute financial breakthrough, then your personal timing might be correct. That's the timing that matters. A product or service that matters to people, a company, and that for me means people with whom you're comfortable and want to do business. Timing that is clear, that is obvious, that is beyond refute. What is your timing like? That's the operable question. The timing for the business cannot be denied. And then next is a compensation plan. Folks, my outcome here doesn't matter. I know that. Your outcome matters. But let me just tell you all, I'll recap a little bit of truth. It's now been 29 consecutive years, last year inclusive, 29 consecutive years in a row that I've earned over $1 million in network marketing commission. God's been kind to me. I've been lucky. I've worked hard, and I've associated myself with the right people. That's continuing right now. I believe without question that this can be my biggest financial success. If this can be my biggest financial success, then almost by definition, for the vast majority of you, this can be your biggest financial success. Notice I said can be, I didn't say will be, because we are the variable. Each of us, you and I, you are the variable and I am the variable. I'm hoping that you choose to become that catalyst ingredient that makes tangible for others that which otherwise may be ambiguous. That, by the way, is one of the keys to tremendous success. A product that matters to people, a company, a group of people who can execute, timing that's clear, that's obvious, is beyond review. A compensation plan which provokes correct behaviors and then properly rewards those behaviors. This compensation plan is right for this time, this company, this group of people. And then training and support. This, by the way, is the equity that you add to the business. You are a part of the opportunity. When you provide basic training to other people, when you show a new person how to win the race to profitability, when you are more than a conduit to a system, when you are a part of the opportunity as a result of the excellence that you deliver, that's when this gets easy. Training and support, that is your value add to it. I will tell you that I pledge my own work to each of you, whoever you are. All are welcome and invited. I would like nothing more than to transfer my life's experiences to you, and together, perhaps we can all learn, grow, develop, and become just a little bit more. If you have not yet committed yourself to this process, I encourage you to commit yourself to it. If you have committed yourself to it and are trying to decide what exactly you should be doing about it, Then I invite you to do this. I realize that there will be people who go away and don't come back 10 minutes from now. But for me to be sharp the way I want to be, I'm going to take a 10-minute break. 10 minutes from now, we're going to reconvene. The discussion will be a completely different conversation. I'm not going to close the meeting room. I'll leave it open. But the discussion 10 minutes from now will be a completely different discussion. It will no longer be a conversation about what the business is. We just talked about that. Product, service, timing, comp plan, training, and support. Those are the 5 elements. That's what the business is. We're not be talking about that. We're going to be talking specifically about process. And that process will be specific to this moment in time. The process that we should be engaged in at this moment in time and the days before the company is formally launched are not the same as the processes we should be involved in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks from now. So it'll be specific to this second. If you're not yet engaged in our company, I extend to you my personal invitation to join us. This is a good group of people doing the right things for the right reasons. And we as a group and me as an individual are committed to your success. Thank you all so much. I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to leave this room open. 10 minutes from now, we're going to come back and we'll no longer be discussing what it is. We'll be talking about what exactly we can and should be doing right now. Thanks all. See you back in a few moments.
Thanks, Sandy.